How long's it been, Ghost?
A really, really long time.
Oh, don't start with that again. But really, how long has it been? 2 months, 5 days, an odd number of hours, minutes, and seconds. It has been that long since I've talked to you all. Since I've given a new report. Since I've tested weapons. Since we dove into our stories a bit further. Since we've looked into science, art, mythology. Since we uncovered mysteries and went face first into some more. And oh, do I have mysteries and ideas to share with you all. But enough of the existentialism. You're not here for my murmurings. You're here for a purpose. Or a story, maybe. Kind of like the story that a certain awoken crypto-archaeologist is writing up right now. Tyra Karn has been a mystery to me over the start to current and rise of Iron. There's not much written about her, but there's much that she's done, and nearly all of it is in plain sight. Tyra considers herself an observer of history rather than a participant. In the time of the Iron Lords, Tyra was the keeper of their stories. Later, she helped found the Cryptarch Order, but withdrew from its day-to-day operation to concentrate on her studies. Tyra has dedicated decades sorting through recovered artifacts, documents, and ghost discoveries in hopes of bringing out the undeniable truths of our past. With the rise of Siva, Lord Saladin has convinced his old friend to return to the Iron Temple. Storytellers are not atypical to us in the Tower. Hell, we hear stories all the time from Cade, Shax, even Zavala and Ikora have some they can share with us from their escapades. There's a lot of tales that get thrown around in the Tower, and with so many different people hearing them, who knows how they've been contorted to the fantastic from their original telling. Sort of like Whisper Down the Lane. You want another story about Twilight Gap? Anna Bray, the hunter. We all dug deep that day. We all touched the light in ways we never thought we could. Or should. Anna, though. When she fired the gun, where her golden blast hit, she left behind the pools of light, like splashes of sunlight that burned and burned. Lord Shax.
After all this time, how can we be sure Rasputin has the code?
I already stole it once. Used my last copy making that stealth drive you blew up. That was getting old anyway.
These crypto systems follow no logic I understand. I'm not sure if it can be modified to work on a Guardian.
Where do you think blade dancers got their cloaking ability?
Don't believe Cade. Half the things out of his mouth are lies, the other half are fibs. My favorite line of his? Oh, easy. He likes to say he stole the secret of stealth tech from Rasputin, and that's how blade dancers learn the trick. Ha! Tevis Larson. This almost reminds me of the olden days of storytelling, when word of mouth was the way all tales were passed down from place to place. You could find this with song or poem, spoken verse or hazardous tongue. Some of these tales were of adventure, like that of Odin, whom we looked at earlier, or it could be dark and dangerous, like the tales of Titans from Greek mythology. Greece. Yes, that's what this most sounds like tales of Spartans passing down their great deeds to those who look to stories for guidance, for power, for knowledge. That's the power of a story. Do you remember the movie 300? Jeez, that was actually pretty long ago now. It was released in 2006, and it follows the tale of King Leonidas, a Spartan who went against the Congress of his people to fight Xerxes, the crushing wind of the Persian Empire. As with most movies like this, it is bound in some layer of fact. Leonidas I, in fact, was asked to lead an army against the Second Persian invasion of Greece. He did lead a small group of combatants made up of Spartans and other Greek city-states. It was a small force of men that met Xerxes at Thermopylae, aka the Hot Gates, with Xerxes' forces numbering in the tens of thousands. The 300 Spartans, along with 900 servants of Sparta, died in that pass 7 days from Xerxes' arrival on Greek soil. This was only the beginning of the fighting for Greece against the Persian Empire, which would eventually be turned to the hands of Greece once again, and the Persians pushed back and away from Greek lands. From this story has come a slew of alterations, twists, interpretations, all the way to current day where we still, some of us, fantasize over the past of Greek and Roman battles. It's not like we're any different as Guardians. We spin tales and rhymes, poems and stories, thoughts of the past, from arcana to grimoire. Some of it known false the moment we let it go from our mouths. Some meant to scare children, some meant to make us proud of our existence, some meant to make us stronger in ourselves and our camaraderie. No matter the reason, some tales can romanticize our past deeds and our past heroes, honoring their memories, making them people to strive to be. But in the end, they can be that. Stories. This isn't meant to lessen their impact. This isn't meant to dull the power that they give to the right person, no matter how naive or hopeful they may be for a tale's true purpose. Passing down these verses and stories over generations of Guardians with no real written log of the happenings that were, who knows how fantastic and amazing these tales have become. Kind of like our own, and the one Tyra is telling about us right now, gathering the pieces together with time of things relevant to our existence as Guardians, the enemies we faced, the people we've encountered, the weapons we've used and acquired, the places we've been, and it's all still an incomplete record. Tyra's original duty was to record the escapades of the Iron Lords. It's a bit unclear when she stopped taking notes down, or even if she ever did stop, as she points out finding Siva in records and documentation as she went along in her cataloging. What we know for sure is the record of Earth's past, going back to Jacob Hardy and the first time we found the Traveler, is on record. Along with tower organizations, fire teams, large-scale battles like Six Fronts and Twilight Gap, Tyra very well may be the one responsible, or at least in part, for finding undeniable truths of our past. Well, it's all part of our Guardians to a degree. It's what we fight for. It's what we hope to see again, or what we fight to never have happen to our last bastion on Earth. She fills in the moments of our heroics, strikes, and missions we've completed, quests and duties we've accomplished. This is all our doing, the things we've done to satisfy our debt to the Traveler. She fills in our enemies, the ones we've defeated or ones of the past that we hope to never, ever see again. She finds the books of sorrow and compiles what she can find into a single guide for us, though Oryx calls it several pieces of a whole. She finds the records of Clovis Bray and other Siva relations. She sifts through record after record of Ishtar's archives and countless other organizations, all the way to the beginning of the Traveler and Jacob Hardy. The weapons and equipment we found and used, the items and new discoveries that we are responsible for, the ghosts that never would have been found if we hadn't been looking for them. Yes, she records all of this. The grimoire as we own it, that little score next to your character, is just how relevant you are to the overall grimoire that Tyra is currently writing up about yourself. After all, what was that tagline? Ah, yes. The grimoire is your legend. With Saladin's blessing, Tyra sees you as the next Iron Lord. She has someone new to begin recording on again, and it's time that the city knows exactly who to thank for all the legends that have been made in the past few years, to give the next generation of Guardians the might they will need to go forward, and who they should aspire to be.
I have made preparations. If I am defeated, I know it will be because my understanding of the universe was incomplete. I failed to anticipate some strategy, some nemesis, perhaps Teox if she still lives. If I am defeated, I know that I will fall to something mighty, something that craves might, something that loves what I love, which is the deep, a principle and a power, the versatile, protein need to adapt and endure, to reach out and shape the universe entirely for that purpose, to mutate and redesign and test and iterate so that it can prevail, can seize existence and hold it, certain that this is everything, that there is nothing to life except living. and it has two faces, yet it is one shape. One face is the objective, which is obvious, and the other face is that will to sacrifice things and ideas for a single mission. The mission of becoming the shape, a shape that will not relent. The utter commitment to survival, to draw the right sword and choose where to cut, to allow this hunger to become your weapon. So I will prepare a book, which is a map to a weapon, and my vanquisher will read that book, seeking the weapon, and they will come to understand me, where I have been and where I was going. And then they will take up my weapon, and they will use it. They will use that weapon, which is all that I am, and armed thus with my past and my future and my present, which is a weapon that takes whatever is available, a weapon bound to malice. They will mantle me, Oryx, the Taken King. They will become me, and I will become them, each of us defeating the other, correcting the other, alloying ourselves into one omnipotent philosophy. Thus I will live forever. I'll make sure.
Remember this as you fight and contend with the forces of the darkness, and let every bullet seal your destiny, Guardian. You write your own story, after all, right? But how do I know these things? How do I understand that our stories are simply another book to be passed down through the ages? Kabir wasn't the only one allowed in the Vault of Glass on his own, now was he? Hey guys, thank you so much for being patient with me as I got everything else together. If you're curious as to what's going on with the channel, you guys can check the channel update here, of course. Best way to kind of know and see what's happening. You'll probably notice maybe better equipment, better microphones, so on. But if you guys don't do that, I'd really appreciate it if you go and listen to something like the Destiny Lorecast, Rabbit Hole Radio, or at least go check out ishtar/collective.net, as Purple Chimera and a few others were very, very helpful in getting this episode together. Especially when I was drawing blanks and just, I'm rusty at doing this, that's for darn sure. Thank you guys again for being around. Thank you for subscribing, for liking, for disliking, for sharing, anything else that you might end up doing, so I know what kind of content you guys like. Thank you again, and I will see you next time, Guardians.